high school and engage them in an interactive STEM discourse. The theme for the year, once again, I want you to take it very serious, is equipping females with a complete skill set for addressing future developmental work challenges. My provides, I want to mention that if Ghana and Africa as a whole can have a seat at the table of science, then we need to equip not just our young men, but our young women as well. That is very important, because if we don't do that, we'll be standing on one leg. And you can imagine when you're on one leg, you struggle to balance. So we need the two legs for us to balance. And that is the reason why today we are here, to see these young ones so that they can be the one to handle the other legs. Louis Pasteur is quoted by saying, and I quote, "Science knows no country because knowledge belongs to humanity and is the touch which illuminates the world." Unquote. Through science, we have come to understand how the universe works. Through science, we can predict certain future events like earthquakes, rainfall, seasons, and even droughts, and prepare towards them. Humanity has made breakthroughs through vaccine and treatment of diseases such as tuberculosis, hepatitis, COVID-19 virus, and other pathogens. And there are some ladies here who have been on the forefront. On that note, I want to introduce one of them, Dr. Augustina Solbaki. The team of other ladies, they are working very hard, producing the sanitizers, everything coming from pharmacy. I'm looking at some people's faces. And they have been working, the MC is one of such people that you can see. We have made technological advancement in architecture, agriculture, education, health, sport, and security through the knowledge we have gained in science. Countries such as Singapore, United States, China, Japan, and others who have invested heavily in STEM have seen tremendous returns, which has made them economic powerhouse. And if we want to be a powerhouse, we cannot be left behind. I believe Ghana will have a significant turnaround in her fortunes if we continue to invest in STEM by creating an enabling STEM environment. And for example, the Wistem Ghana Girls Camp and other science and related campaigns for our students. That's why we appreciate Stanbic. It has not been easy getting sponsorship for this. Stanbic, we are very grateful. I hope you will continue to push us further, because it's intentional and it must be done strategically. And it is my hope that this year's edition of the Girls Camp would achieve its objective in providing an effective forum for students, tutors, and practitioners to advance knowledge, resources, and skill for addressing Ghana's developmental problem. Let me use this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to the Vice Chancellor of KNUST, Professor Rita Kusia Dixon, and the management of KNUST for their support, Stanbic Bank, Rail, Wistem Executive Committee, the amazing and hardworking Girls Camp organizing committee. Can they stand up for us too? The chairperson, please, and your team. They have worked so hard, so hard, so hard. Please, let's celebrate them. Institutions, companies, and volunteers who have directly and indirectly supported Wistem. To my campus, I wish you an exciting, productive, fun, and exchange of knowledge, experience, so that together we can inspire generation and anticipate a future of groundbreaking knowledge, research, and technology. Once again, you're welcome. God bless Ghana. God bless KNUST and Wistem Ghana. God bless us all. Thank you.
And God bless you, Prof. Thank you so much. We feel so welcomed now. Today's event has a chair and a guest speaker. And I have the singular honor to introduce to us the chairperson for today's event. Now, our chair is a consultant public health physician, a university teacher, and researcher with countless scientific publications, a professor of epidemiology. You see, it's not easy to pronounce that. And he's a professor of this. And global health. His area of expertise is in medical epidemiology and applied public health technologies. As a university teacher, he has trained numerous undergraduate and postgraduate students, and he has also mentored many young faculty at both international and local levels. He has secured and managed multi-million-dollar research grants from principal granting institutions. Name them, he's got it. He has traveled extensively and serves on several boards at both local and international levels, while having a massive network of individuals and organizations he works with. Ladies and gentlemen, our immediate past and current Pro-VC of KNUST, Professor Ellis Osuda.
Thank you so very much, Dr. and Mrs. Boachi-Jesse. I was hoping that I'll get a piece of the cloth to sew as socks, as a pair of socks to wear for this. So Wistem, I need a piece of your cloth the next time so I can wear for this important occasion. The former provost and president of Wistem Ghana, Professor Mrs. Ibo Kudro, Provost College of Science, Professor Leonard Kofiche Amekuji, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Asqua, our proud Madam Patricia Apieje, a distinguished representative of Stanbic. We are so delighted that you can hold us all the way through and grant support for this wonderful girls' camp. The Dean, Quality Assurance and Planning at the Office of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Jerry John Ognon, my very good friend and lieutenant, delighted to have you here. The members of the local organizing committee, for whom we have just given a standing ovation. We're grateful that you can bring together all these wonderful girls to be here this morning. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, my lovely ladies from across the divide, different schools, categories, A's, B's, and C's. I welcome you. We are talking about equipping the girl child completely. The University of Science and Technology has a certain mandate towards ensuring that, at the least, we improve on gross enrollment of the girl child. Increasingly, we have done this through the enrollment of students here at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So currently, we're doing something male to female overall of 61 to 39%. When it comes to the girl child and in terms of STEM, it's lower. But I've just presented and defended our budget at the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, and I can assure you that this Vice Chancellor, one from amongst you, as part of her midterm strategy towards gross enrollment, has decided that within the next 4 years, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology should achieve parity for male to female enrollment. And that means by 2026, we should see 50% enrollment. Of course, the emphasis is on STEM. As an individual, I have supported the Vice Chancellor, and I don't have to remind you that we were there at the headquarters in Paris, France, to talk about wisdom. KNUST is always a model. What you do, Professor Mrs. Ibobodro and your team, is amazing. We've spoken about this at the highest level, at the headquarters of UNESCO. And in fact, because of what we do, perhaps I should let you know that we're inviting the Director General of UNESCO, who's a lady, passionate about wisdom, and we wanted to come during November when we culminate, and obviously 70th anniversary in November, I think the 23rd. So she's going to come to see what we do by way of championing STEM education for the girl child. This, for us, is historic, that you have a female Director General here to celebrate with us and to champion wisdom education. But I have to say something. In equipping the girl child, in equipping anybody to create wealth, to identify their unique niche in their contribution towards the development of our country, the equipping of the girl child must ensure that the skill set are complete. Now, what I want to challenge us is excellence in knowledge. So wherever you are, and whether you want to go in the area of ensuring that our curricula are reviewed towards practical training and or not, from what we have received from the colonial masters in being so theoretical and oftentimes abstract, you need to make sure that when we're talking about knowledge in the subject area, that you're among the top 5%. Excellence. In equipping the girl child or the female, we need to ensure that the competencies we build are competencies that we can say are the competencies needed to solve that particular problem. Colleagues, oftentimes issues have arisen when we need individuals to support in a certain area. And in spite of the degrees and in spite of the numerous certificates that people would say they have, the skill set are not there. And oftentimes people lack depth in terms of demonstration of what is needed. And so when we have had the skills, the complete skills, when we've built the competencies and we have the knowledge, I like to throw in a very wild card at our attitude as well. In attitude are the major transformational things. What time you come to work, your respect, your humility, your spirit of excellence we're talking about, your timeliness, your responsiveness, how well you turn over and ensure that the work that is given to you is done appropriately, intelligently, and with a mark of excellence would showcase you and set you apart from all others. And so as we talk about equipping female with complete skill set, my challenge to you is that let's add the building block of attitude. And in attitude are many of the things that we do. Sometimes I wonder why our thinking is so mediocre. I want to challenge all of us. That excellence must be the hallmark. Strive for excellence. In equipping yourself, strive to be among the top 1%, 5% of whoever is required to do that job, that you will be counted amongst those. And with those few remarks, I'd like to accept a challenge and to be the representative of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Mrs. Rita Akosua-Dixon, who is chairing university's appointments and promotions at the moment. And so I apologize on her behalf. She very much would have wished to have been here, but unfortunately has had to be there. But she brings you her felicitations and she wishes you well during the next 2 days of your camping. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Prof. Some of us tried to put down a few key points, but everything that you said. So we'll be seeing you for the entire. And Prof said, let's add the building block of attitude. Our attitude determines our altitude. And he also threw a challenge to us. And we'd like to say that we'll borrow from Stanbic Bank. It can be done, right? Thank you. So my account has been credited. Thank you so much, Prof. Chair, for that insightful and admonishing speech. Today, we have a keynote speech on our theme, and our keynote speaker is someone that we admire, somebody who has some firsts in her belt, the first ever female mayor of Kumasi Metropolis. First ever. She has been and is still an honorable member of parliament for the Asukwa constituency, a great and a grand Wistemer, and a former deputy minister at the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. She has done so much to contribute to STME for girls and boys as well. And this day, we couldn't have given ourselves a better keynote speaker. So, with a round of applause, let's welcome Honorable Patricia Appiagyei, our keynote speaker for today.
Thank you very much, Honorable MC. It's interesting that I'm being reminded that it's been 4 years. I wonder how time flies. Because I didn't think when we launched this program, it's been 4 years already. I think what has actually eroded my memory is the fact that the COVID set in at one point in time, and therefore has given me very short memory of what we started together. But I'm happy to be here with you, the Pro Vice Chancellor, who is our chair for this occasion, distinguished dignitaries. If I'm going to go, I'm not going to miss anybody, but I know you are all distinguished dignitaries over here. our speakers, participants, friends, and colleagues, good morning. I want to hear the voice of our young ladies over here, because I want you to be alert. A lot has been said already by our chair, and actually I would say that he's actually taking the wind out of my sail for the very important observations and challenge and some advice that he has already given. So I want you to be attentive, because it is very important. We are not doing this for the fun of this, for the fun of it. We are here to ensure that if we have these numbers coming out as STEM champions in the very near future, I can tell you that Ghana will be arriving. Let me kindly start by thanking our Pro-Vice Chancellor for chairing this program. And I also want to thank our Vice Chancellor, Professor Rita Akosia-Dixon, for this august and continuously being a pioneer in the change for young girls in STEM. And the Pro-Vice Chancellor, I won't leave you out of this. And by your statement, I want to commend you highly that very soon we are going to experience some parity in the admission of young students in STEM. And then to the President of the Women in Science, Technology, and Mathematics, Wistem Ghana, Professor Mrs. Ibok Odro, and the organizers, the Wistem promoters, who have already been introduced. As this is what has made this event possible, I acknowledge your passion to see younger women in STEM, and I think it is possible this year. After all, what we have all faced globally due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I also want to specially thank Stanbic. I know that you are well represented over here, and we want to acknowledge for the support, because for this program to be sustainable, it requires some level of funding. And I appreciate that you have identified this need and will be supporting the program on an annual basis. To each one of you gathered here, thank you, because it demonstrates a belief and a commitment towards enabling our younger women to be the next change makers in our ever-revolving world of science. Indeed, the invitation to give the keynote address on the theme, Equipping Females with Complete Skill Set for Addressing Future Developmental Challenges, is one that I am very enthusiastic about, and an objective that I fully endorse, as it requires urgent and immediate action. The world, as we all know, is currently facing unprecedented challenges socially, economically, and environmentally. Simultaneously, these challenges and scientific revolution are providing us with a myriad of new opportunities for the technological revolution. Although tomorrow looks uncertain and unpredictable, we need to be open and ready for it. Unless cheered with a purpose, the rapid advancement of science and technology may widen gender inequalities and accelerate resource depletion. it is of no wonder that these efforts are being pursued through the introduction of projects like Wistem Ghana, and Cosmos Women in FinTech Ghana, the President's Special Initiative, which is Ghana Beyond Aid, and other formidable projects that seek to equip students by helping them develop their competencies, proficiencies, and mastery in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as we simply put it, STEM. For instance, I just want you to bring your mind to this fact that stove is being used now. I'm talking about cooking stove. It comes in gas form, it comes also in electrical form. Now, from time past, we used to use stones and wood. Currently, there's this climate change challenges, and therefore we are discouraging the use of all these things. And these are the issues that you can put your mind to it as a challenge and begin to develop the right skill sets to be able to address challenges of this nature. And as Camp for Girls like Wisdom then encourages you students to be curious enough, have imagination, resilience, and be self-regulated. I think this point has already been emphasized by the Vice Chancellor. Education then can equip teachers with agency and a sense of purpose. So you are not here for nothing. You are also here to educate yourself. And the competencies that you need to shape your own lives and contribute to the lives of others. Today, I'm encouraging you all to read widely. Make good use of the various technologies around us and equip yourselves with information, best practices, and also sex education. Set clear goals for yourselves. Know the right reason, the right season, and time for everything you do. I hope you've taken note of that. Know the right season, the time for everything you do. One other important thing that I want to talk about today is growing and protecting our minds. Our mental health is crucial to our total happiness and well-being because it preserves our emotional stability and sense of balance in our personal lives, our careers, and interpersonal connections. Due to this, it has become pertinent more than ever that our schools have mentors and counselors that our students can always have access in this pursuit towards their mental health state. I'll continue with a quote from Oprah Winfrey, who writes, "I believe the choice to be excellent begins with aligning your thoughts and words with the intention to require more from yourself." What do you understand by this quote? Requiring more of oneself doesn't always translate into doing more. Being more is the goal. Being a formidable force, defying expectations and breaking barriers. Being inventive, adaptable, and arming yourselves with the necessary tools to successfully traverse lives. That is the issue. Additionally, the foundation of the success of every country is its future generation, and our women are a critical part of this generation. The goal here is to motivate, educate, and equip our dear females, our next generation, with the complete skill sets necessary to navigate through some of the future developmental challenges they will face growing up in our world. Developmental challenges are essentially a broad category of conditions or situations that emerge when anticipated milestones are not met. In our society, we do not always get the best start in life. So it is critical for us to be equipped with the necessary skills to become some of these obstacles. Needless to say, what we will witness if we advance an agenda for transformative social change that builds upon the work taking place in this regard is a rummaging of what it means to acknowledge gender inequality in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics sector in this lifetime. Not only will we feel more empowered by public revelations of interpersonal and systematic manifestations of gender inequality, or by the solidary building which results from coming together to articulate our opposition to these realities. And I think we've already started. We will see ourselves as the one who will be principally responsible for their redefinition. In working together to advance this aim, we will disrupt what it means to be normal and what we do to challenge this norm. This can then be a pioneering effort to abandon our collective complacency and to take full advantage of our roles in leadership, in private sectors, in academia, in civil society, in grassroots movements, to rewrite policies, to change corporate cultures, to teach and sensitize others to engage in social programming, and to highlight the issues which plague our generation regarding women in STEM. As we engage in a critical conversation about women in science today and discuss roles and responsibilities to make substantive changes within our respective spaces, I encourage you to read the wave of energy. I will encourage you to write the wave of energy that will come from talking about women in STEM in its most overt and pervasive forms. Let us all work together then to take off the blinders which shield women in STEM from seeing the public light. This need not amount to mere talks, but the building of all allied networks the emergence of collaborative spaces for learning and sharing, and the articulation of efforts to make our society a more just, harmonious, and equitable one, where all women have the opportunity in the same sectors. For a new day to truly be on the horizon, this is our time to change what is normal and work together to redefine what is possible. I will end this address by saying this to you, our young girls. Life always gives you an opportunity to make a change. But the depth of the change will always depend on what you carry in you. And the knowledge of the environment you find yourself in. You all need to take a keen interest in developing a lot more of the soft skills that would be an advantage when added to the hard skills. And thus, you should make a conscious effort in developing our content in order to ensure that you are better placed and equipped to provide the needed solution to make the future for you and the generation after you better. Honorable Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, distinguished dignitaries, on this note, I would like to declare the Wistem Ghana 2020 Girls Camp duly open. I wish you well. Thank you very much.
Yes, this is the opening ceremony, and our keynote speaker has opened it for us. Know the right season and time for everything you do. Please. She said, know the right season and time for everything you do. Thank you so much for that very insightful speech. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for her, please. I'm also happy to announce that we are currently, this program is live streaming on TEK TV. So we have an audience online as well. And I would love to crave your indulgence for us to stand for just 30 seconds. So we say, all rise. Thank you. And you can just turn left and say hello, turn right and say hello. Hello. Yes. And then we can resume our seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have a professor of public health with us, so I have to make sure that we check all the health boxes. Okay. We wish to acknowledge the presence of Stanbic Bank, Asokwa. Please, we have some Stanbic Bank, Asokwa branch. Thank you so much. And as our honorable keynote speaker said, this girls' camp has been since 2018. And we have our pioneer chair with us, Dr. Mrs. Linda Hinkwa-Fonjo. Our pioneer chair. From now, you can start calling her our pioneer chair. And we also love to acknowledge all our sponsors. And in no particular order, we'd like to acknowledge Stanbic Bank, our title sponsors. Thank you so much, Stanbic Bank. Lab Aid, A big round of applause for Lab Aid. Responsible Artificial Intelligence Lab. Thank you, Prof. Sonsis Bags. Thank you. Multineck Company Limited. And I'm also happy to announce that we have individual sponsors. Now we have a mother who puts her money where her heart is. Professor Mrs. Ibokodro, thank you. We also have Wistem Husbands. So Dr. Justice Silverken, Dr. Kingsley Bedu, Vector-Borne Research Group, Dr. Mrs. Linda Beduado, Dr. Antoinette Simpa Enim Jr. Thank you so much. These are individual sponsors. And we also have faculties and departments of KNUST who have sponsored this event. And we like to acknowledge the Dean of the Faculty of Agric, the Head Department of Theoretical and Applied Biology here at KNUST, and then the Head Department of Chemistry. We are very grateful to you all. It can be done. And so demystifying gender norms and bias in education can be done. And Stanbic Bank says so. And so with a round of applause, let's welcome the rep from Stanbic Bank to talk to us about this.
Thank you, my honorable MC. In Stanbic Bank, when we say it can be done, we don't just clap. So with your permission, Mr. Chair, I want to change that in this forum. So when I say wisdom, we all say it can be done. So wisdom, wisdom. And if it can be done, it has to be you in this room. I have once been told that a lady cannot be part of STEM, but I'm standing here in front of you because I embraced it and challenged it. Not to offend our gentlemen in the room, because we still want our chop money at the end of the month. Mr. Chair, Honorable Patricia Appiaje, MP for Asukwa, our esteemed lecturers and tutors, our future STEM ladies, all protocol observed. My name is Marian Amate, Head Business Enablement at Stanbic Bank. I will tell you more about how I rose to this level in my career as a STEM girl myself, if time permits me. I am honored to be delivering this message on behalf of our CE, Kwame Nasumeni, who really would have loved to be here, but for other equal important commitments, he needs to attend. Show me a man so passionate about STEM education, and I'll show you my CE. We are very intentional about everything STEM, and for that matter, girls. We have introduced various STEM learning initiatives which seek to provide support and opportunities for needy but brilliant girls reading STEM-related courses. We all recall Stanbic's support towards the VC Sonsol project over the years. We have donated 150 laptops so far in support of STEM education. Thank you. We at Stanbic are very happy and grateful to KNUST and the Wistem for the unique opportunity to be part of this laudable effort to inculcate a love of STEM into senior high school girls. appreciating and acknowledging the critical role STEM plays in today's technological environment. As the main sponsor of the boot camp officially opening today, thanks to our Honorable Madam, we are excited to partner with KNUST to increase participation in this initiative and encourage development in this pivotal field of education. Mr. Chair, the link between science, technology, engineering, mathematics, economics transformation, and the creation of opportunity for the youth, as we know, has long been established. STEM opens stripes of possibilities and opportunities for the youth and more so for females. The underrepresentation of females in STEMs is ever present on the global front. The prevalence of men dominance in these fields of study likely stem from influence in students' formative and pre-secondary school years. STEM disciplines have a reputation for being rather intimidating. My God. Stereotypical gender bias tend to underestimate and snub young girls' ability, consequently discouraging them from pursuing such degrees. Please don't allow anybody to intimidate you. STEM learning develops curiosity, critical thinking, and problem-solving capabilities. These promote learners' creativity and innovation as well as their analytical, scientific, and quantitative skills. These are all serve as key competencies in nation building, social economic development, and solutioning for our ever-present challenges. In our bid to drive Ghana and Africa's growth, Stanbic Bank is committed to promoting STEM education as well as solving the STEM gender gap to foster sustained inclusion and equality for generations to come. Our purpose affirms our commitment to drive Ghana's growth. When combined with our brand, promise to constantly find new ways to make dreams possible, and with the digitization and the core elements of our brand character, bold, responsive, inventive, curious, knowledgeable, STEM becomes a natural fit and an area meriting special focus and investment. Driving Ghana's growth is about giving our future STEM leaders the tools they will need to move the world forward. It is the greatest and most valuable investment we can make. It is our most empowerable and meaningful contribution. At Stanbic, we say that whatever you deem a dream, we agree to believe with you. We believe that the dream matters. They are the fuel that powers the future. To realize dreams, we take uncharted paths together. Path that leads to growth, because we are more than just a bank. We look beyond the financial outcome to create more value socially, economically, and environmentally. If you have the capacity to dream, Stanbic will find ways to bring that dream to life. Your dreams are valid no matter where you come from. And you can all bear with me. We remember Francesca Lamino, who excellently did well in the Maths and Science quiz, and today she's in Harvard learning. Thank you. To our young delegates here, what are your dreams? Those of you dreaming to become astronomers, software developers, engineers, data scientists, statisticians, medical doctors, financial analysts, business enablement, just like myself, to drive platforms, Stanbic is here to let you know it can be done. It's easy to feel a lack of confidence in various settings. For example, when it comes to understanding some subjects, many times we may feel that we must be genius or an expert on a topic to speak, participate in a program, or work on a project. There are many of us here who feel this way, but we must not forget that we are not alone, and there are ways that we can help get over these challenges. You don't understand anything, ask. You need help, reach out. There's always someone ready to assist, be it a teacher, a mentor, or a sponsor. It is important to remember that no one is an expert in the beginning. If you have something to contribute, you should speak up. Don't let that fear, the lack of confidence, keep you from an opportunity. The number of women in STEM will only grow if we women learn to unlearn our prejudices and stereotypes. Many women turn away from STEM careers because they see it as misalignment with what they want for their home. Trust me, I have a daughter as well. It's assumed that such a career path means they have to sacrifice everything. No. Do not let that assumption stop you from forging onwards. Stanbic Bank is all for women in STEM education because we believe that representation matters. The more women enter the fields, the more likely we are to have subsequent generations following in these footsteps. Also, having different voices at the table, making decisions, giving insight and perspective, all help to create better products and solutions that help more people. My little sisters, I implore you to aspire higher and avoid self-censorship, because sexual dimorphism only exists in books and the minds of people. We may be anomically different, but we are a Stanbic see and treat every individual equally. There has never been any conversation regarding discrimination on the basis of gender. This is evident in the number of females in managerial positions, including my good self. So don't limit yourself in any way. Keep those dreams alive, because we love and believe you can achieve everything you put your mind to. None of the reasons for the lack of women in STEM indicates due to biological differences. Mr. Chair, it is worthy to mention at this point that Stanbic has partnered many academic institutions and think tanks to deliver a number of STEM-related projects, which have so far given beneficiary access to 300+ mentors across 48 disciplines, areas, campus entrepreneurship, community, access to structured training programs, and curriculum internship opportunities with Stanbic Bank and other partners, investment facilitation and due diligence stimulation for student entrepreneurs, most of which are women. This initiative is part of the Stanbic Business Incubator Program, launched in 2018 to support startups and SMEs through access to structured programs, access to finance, and ready markets. The SB Incubator has to date provided support for over 7,288 entrepreneurs, 682 businesses, and 1,639 women-owned startups. This bootcamp is one of such partners that gave us the opportunity to support the dreams of our younger ones. Stanbic is here with you. We'll be with you on your academic journeys and even after school. We welcome every one of you to this all-girls camp. Let's make a good use of this judgment-free environment where we do not need to worry about our image and what boys think of us in this room, what men think of us. Let's fully participate in all activities and make it a point to live here with a renewed mind, confident goal, and a will to conquer the world of science. We remain eternally grateful to be part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Indeed, you have demystified so many things for us. Thank you, thank you. Another round of applause for her, please. She says, your dreams are valid no matter where you come from. Can we say that? So now we say mine, right? So let's go. My dreams are valid no matter where I come from. Thank you so much, Stanbic Bank. We are very grateful to you, and we are tempted to partner with you forever and ever. Amen. Do you accept? Thank you. Please, let's put our hands together for Stanbic Bank. And I remember when she said, Wistem, it can be done, I said, let's also tell you once when we say Wistem, before we got the Stanbic one. So I know we have Wistemers here. So Wistem. Wistem. Together we inspire generations. And today it's obvious that we are really inspiring generations, aren't we? A round of applause to us all. For us all, sorry. Before we round up this session, we would love for our chairperson to give us his closing remarks. Remember, we are here for a number of days, and whatever we are doing, the activities are in sessions. So we are just rounding up this brief morning session, and we will continue. So our chair will give us his remarks for this session. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. A round of applause for our moderator. She's done excellently, and we're grateful. Distinguished colleagues, friends, our keynote took us through her understanding of completeness in equipping the female for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. My take in that is that the word complete does not epitomize what looks like an event, but a process of ensuring that the girl child is at the point where the achievement of all the needed ingredients to achieving excellence are there. She spoke about knowing your seasons and time. She mentioned sex education and mental health as critical. Sex education, the philosophy and underpinnings of sex education, understanding your own self and the gender you belong is critical. And the twists and turns of dealing with some of the ramifications of being a female are important in becoming that complete female who is excellent in STEM. She admonished extensive reading, something which is bedeviling our generation. I don't know what has come of you. It's all about PowerPoint notes. It's all about WhatsApp texting. It's about Twitter and all of these things. And people are not reading. They're not reading. Told the story of my first, who is in medical school, and bought some books for him. And when he was reading those textbooks, his friends went to him and said to him, but PowerPoint was why didn't know kind textbook for a medical student. It's disaster. It's disaster. The generation doesn't want to read. Can it be done? Can it be done? It can't be done. You must read. You must read. We used to boast from cover to cover. That's what we used to say. And we will compete. How many times have you read this textbook? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And for those who are daring, we would even try and recite. Yes. I'm not telling you stories. I'm not that old. A few years ago. You see? So extensive reading and looking after your mental health. Mental health is meant to be the second cause of mortality and morbidity in the next 5 years. We have to look after ourselves. And when you look around and you see what is happening in our local media, and the headline news and all of those things, nobody should tell you that we have to look after our mental health. And if something is wrong with you, something you cannot contain, please don't wait until we see the evidence of overt mental ill health. Speak about it. Speak to someone. When you see so-called pastors and chiefs murdering allegedly, then you see that we have issues. These are revered names in Ghanaian culture, socioculture, environment. So if you hear these things, so mental health is critical. And she talked about that. She asked us to arm ourselves with the needed tools to get to the point where we want to get to. Obviously, she touched on gender as a developmental challenge. When we talk about developmental challenge, we're just looking at the issues bedeviling sustainable development goals, poverty, and all those things. But she talked about some developmental challenges, and gender is one thing that we should look at with a critical eye in addressing that development or developmental challenge. Talked about how we can transform the socio-political and economic environment through developing ourselves and arming ourselves with the tools that we so much cherish. All of us obviously have been talking about gender equity, and it's something that she passionately touched on. And one thing that touched me a lot was on the fact that it takes collaboration to support the female in STEM. And that means all sectors of the economy, everywhere. Every sector of the economy needs to offer that support in demystifying all those stereotypes that we've talked about. And those stereotypes can be development challenge for yourself, and therefore you have to address that. And she called for change. She called for change in this direction. And she says that the change depends on the value attribution to yourself. SHS for muti moha mamenti monka moha aha ye ma me ne o kan ya e kan makoma kese pa ne se wo oba ba ya oti hanom se daachi nia ubetimi dia boa oman ama yetimi akoye nim asesa oman se ebe kra behwe se nia ye peno no ene se wankasa die na obetimi aye die na wo sesa wo wabrabo mu a ede sampuntu no ebetimi aba ama se ye bisa se obi nimde na obetimi aye a wo ye betimi aka waka ho ana na asem no. So in talking about transformative socio-cultural environment, the attribution to the value that you present to the table is very critical. And there, she touched on soft skills. Critical. It's not just hard skills. Soft skills. In setting up our Career Services Center, we've been talking about our head of, the director of the center, championing simple things. Simple things. Co-interview, ni masema oka. And asema oka no so kra wo hunu the importance of prioritizing what is critical from what is urgent routine. Soft skills. And then the other say, Penny or Fred Penny, I'll say Emilia here. Now MP now or Tihonomono. Wow, woko page ma honum. Onim Emilia Bain. Soft skills. So you're calling your member of parliament and you're introducing yourself with your first name. It's not Ghanaian. It's not Ghanaian. Mumi ansisa. Soft skills. A lady came to me at church and was looking for a job. Me yiri jina ho. Ono minim the baby sorry ba. Minim the baby obe pay dwuma o. So pay dwuma o mempe baby man dwuma okay no. Oba e no de nsa atomikom. So when we, the job is not for you. Soft skills. We need soft skills, and you're not ready to learn. It's important. You talk about, and she mentioned that, our mother mentioned that, the member of parliament mentioned that. Soft skills. Munsuya. Munsuya send esi soja. Munsuya. Ejana yo mwaho do bebre. Munsuya ni nyina. Kaza wode microwave nkwa na wonim. Munsuya ni nyina because ye ko enim na ne ma na sesa. Then of course she spoke about the fact that we need to ensure that we include all of these things in the social change that we so much cherish. And then of course our mother, representing the Stanbic Bank, what she said sums it all. She ended by saying, it can be done. Name it, mention it. And then whatever you want to preface that with, it can be done, you put it there. She says, and Stanbic says, it can be done. I don't know the word impossibility. If you work with me, there's nothing like it cannot be done. Nope, it's not. One of my assistants was getting a visa for one of our colleagues who is about to travel. When the first time they bounce, I said, go again. When the second time they bounce, go again. Third time is there. You have to do it consistently. Do it. Do it. And in doing it, that's when you make the adjustments. The problem with us is that we don't even want to start. And we think that in copying and pasting from America and the UK and France and so on, we are there. Nobody will do it for us unless we decide to do it. And we have defined what blueprint we want for ourselves. Simple. You can bring the Chinese, you can bring the French, you can bring the Japanese, you can bring... So you see, we are all confused. We don't know whether to go China, America, Britain, France, whatever. We are called Ghanaians. So we have to define, and what's more, our mom says, it can be done. She touted all the ideals of STEM leadership and boot camps and entrepreneurships and so on and so forth, and ended with mindset reorientation. Mindset reorientation. I didn't know as if you were dreaming. Mindset reorientation. It can be done, yes. But do you believe that it can be done? Are you applying yourself to the processes of it can be done? That's the point. That's the point. So apply yourself to the process of mindset reorientation, and let's all together say, yes, 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 it can be done. It can be done. And let's not sing the song, Debi Debi Ebe. So I think that we don't have anybody to come and transform our nation for us. Yeah, you can have the shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. I'm telling you. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut. I can tell you so many stories. But people ought to define themselves, and when they define themselves, apply themselves to that definition of who we are. Of who we are. I'm sad to say that Ghanaians are a society of people who don't cherish excellence. Bibia yemaye. Bibia yemaye. Nti krata ne gu form na osesa emiensa ne gu osesa me no so na se ba ko na ho na nya hwe. It's not true. Ama why you fin. It's emiensa sesa miensa ne nyina free ho to complete the process of cleaning. But we seem to accept yeah. Bia so we no bibia nya hwe. De ho bia se e ho ni free ba. Enfama nyame. We have to transform our society with a mindset reorientation. Stanbic Bank says it can be done. Can we rehearse that again? It can be done. I thank you so very much.
Prof. Chair, I have the singular honor, by the power vested in me by Wistem Ghana, to confer on you Professor of English Summary. In fact, you have summarized all the speeches and delivered it to us, and indeed, it shows your experience in teaching. And so we are very grateful to you. Although we have somebody designated to deliver the thanks, I just want to say thank you. The session is about to end. However, we would like to once again acknowledge and thank our dignitaries and our sponsors. So let me begin by saying thank you to Stanbic Bank, Lab Aid, Responsible Artificial Intelligence Lab, Sunsis Bags, Multi-NEC, our individual sponsors, Professor Mrs. Ibokodro, Dr. Justice Silverken, Dr. Linda Beduado, Dr. Kingsley Bedu, Dr. Antoinette Simpa Anim Jr., faculties and departments, Dean Faculty of Agric, HOD Department of Theoretical and Applied Biology, and the head of the Department of Chemistry as well. Our chief scribe for Wistem has something to tell us. Dr. Mrs. Mercy Bedu, please put your hands together for her.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator, for the wonderful job you've done for us this morning. Prof. Chair, Honorable Minister, our representatives from Stanbic Bank, Provost of College of Science, all our guests that are gathered here, my colleagues, our tutors, my sweet girls representing the various schools. I'm excited to be here this morning to see how beautiful this program has run, and I'm happy to give the vote of thanks. Our first thanks goes to the Almighty God. When we started the program, we all heard the powerful prayer our daughter gave us, and God has been so good unto us. This program has run so smoothly, and we say thank you to God. To our Prof. Chair, the Pro-Vice Chancellor of this noble university, we know you are busy today, but you decided to come and join us, be here in the stead of our VC. God bless you so much. We are grateful to the university management. They are backing us. We have their full support, and that is why we see what we see this morning. We are grateful. Prof, please tell them we are grateful. We thank our Honorable Minister. If we know the story of Wistem, there's no way you will not know our Madam. Honorable Minister has been with us during the proposal stage. You remember when we used to visit her at Mesty? And then she would take us to that restaurant that they serve every Ghanaian food. We eat what we want, and then we leave, we come to Kumasi. Mommy, we are so grateful that you are still with us, and you continue to be with us. God bless you so much. We want to thank GES. We have our coordinators in STEM here with us. We actually wrote to them for support, permission to get the schools to come, and they said, no, what you are doing is so good, and so we will rather collaborate with you. And through to their word, we have 2 of their coordinators here with us, and they are going to stay with us for the 5 days. They came yesterday, they are here today up until Thursday. We say we are grateful to you, Madam, for coming to be here with us. To the Provost of College of Science and our Registrar, College of Science, you gave us the venue. We called you this morning. We said, we have misplaced our letters, but you still honored our invitation. Please forgive us. We are grateful that you decided to come and join us to have the opening ceremony. God bless you so much, sir. To Stanbic Bank, we are grateful to you for supporting this camp, for us to see the reality of what we thought of. We say thank you so much. And like Oliver Twist, we will be coming for more. To all our sponsors, we say God bless you. We will be coming for more again and again and again. God bless you so much. To our schools, the headmistresses, the headmasters of the various schools that gave the students the permission to come here, we are grateful to them. To our tutors, the ladies, the gentlemen, they have left their families. And thank you all for honoring our invitation. God bless. And thank you all for honoring our invitation. God bless.
Thank you for thanking us. We have 23 schools represented here, 23. And as I did earlier, I'm going to do it again. And this time, you know how much is at stake, right? And we have the entire Stanbic Bank Asokwa branch here. So, Agric Inzima Senior High School. Ejusuman Senior High School. Efijasi Senior High School. Bonre Senior High School. Barikese Senior High School. Konongo Odumase Senior High School. Yasantua Girls Senior High School. Kumasi Senior High Technical School. Kumasi Anglican Senior High School. Manso Adubia Senior High School. Dramina Kenton Senior High School. Asanteman Senior High School. Uthmania Senior High School. T.I. Amedia Senior High School. Goka Senior High School. Doma Senior High School. Kumasi Girls Senior High School. St. Louis. Edu Jemfi. Agogo State College. St. Monica's. Adventist Girls. And KNUST Senior High School. Well done. Thank you for coming. And from here, I will lead our dignitaries and invited guests outside, and we are going to play our camp song. Now, as soon as the camp song ends, kindly join us outside for some photographs and interactions with our dignitaries. So we are going to step outside while the camp song is playing, but when the camp song ends, then you join us, okay? Thank you. So when this part ends, we are all going to stand and sing it. When it ends, then we exit, okay?
Me by dear bank, Miss Yawo. Me Australian, if you are proposed to a kuninu. Now, Matt is sending upon repro yet, didn't work in minimum. Into what I am finding ye, my back, Sam Mershania material. Me too, chrome hop pet, Ophia edicanga, me do humuno, mete. Namiko, who is said, or penning family, my dear, your ring, Nikente, Jack. Kwame oni madia yoni kente dinga minyame boy pet na dwom no de ne ho abehye ma no mobo nene fi pamfu nyina yang bai betina me danga me demu anu no retie me dwomu no na mo a mo ni manager dwom ne ne de e call won so ara ye ma mi je amabo no sang won bi na se me nya me frɛ dwom na won nyina je so Eyi na mehwe ikom na misi. Na nipa dom yi amane ebempo na sa me bo won a ebe so won ani. Eni edi me bo nre kente dwum yara. Ehwo ara na me de mahihye so. Na otia me na so. Na manfo ni nyine Jesu. Na efi ho ufa kronum benkum ana nifa epue ana ataya wo beti.
Ana ye pura ne noa kasa ehina ye bemu ye pura obura hina ye bemu obura ta prenin siedo obura peye pio obura peye pio onipa peye pio Semo oni peti eni no yonko panya semo unya manena ekawonko mo profupo a utrofu beji na weji aso wadiswa ama unya mane akeni unya mane.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to the next section. We are going to listen to a talk, and the title is on personal grooming. And this is going to be delivered by one of our senior lecturers here in KNUST, in the person of Dr. Mrs. Mavis Osei. Something little about her. Dr. Osei is an artist, she's an art educator, and she's an art therapist. And she is a senior lecturer in the Department of Educational Innovation in Science and Technology. she's been a recipient of the Fulbright Scholarship. So she is an alumni of the Fulbright. With a round of applause, shall we please welcome Dr. Mrs. Mavis Osei.
Hello. Good morning to you all. It's still morning, right? Or it's afternoon already? It's afternoon. Okay, it's still cloudy, so I thought it was still morning. Okay, good afternoon to you, wonderful young ladies. I'm so excited to see my alma mater, Yasantua. Yasantua, where are you? Adeshe. Marco Kodu Ampa. It's so exciting to see all of you come here this morning. Can you see from afar? Okay. The light, I don't know whether. Good grooming. In fact, when I had this topic to talk about, I said to myself, these young ladies seem to know much more than myself. So what possibly could I add to what they know? I'm a teacher, so forgive me if I ask questions. When we talk about good grooming, what comes to mind? And we are inspiring generations here. And we can do it. So somebody should answer my question. Good grooming. What comes to mind when we mention good grooming? Can somebody be bold enough? And there was silence. Hello? What comes to mind when we mention good grooming? And yes, I no. Okay, I see a hand here. Okay, she's given us a very broad scope. The right way to live our lives. What can that be? Can we be very specific? What can be some of the right ways to live our lives if we have to? Good grooming. Have you heard that word before? Have you met it anywhere before? Okay, then somebody could answer me. Good grooming. What comes to mind? Okay, I see a hand there. That is very true. Thank you so much. When she hears good grooming, personal hygiene comes to mind. That is very true. It's an aspect of personal hygiene, and somebody else would take that aspect and talk into detail about that. Okay. Okay, so this will be a very short presentation. Hopefully, we'll talk about what good grooming is, why good grooming, and then we'll talk about culture and good grooming. We'll talk about cultural intelligence. How do they all link up? Okay, so that's me over there. The lady introduced me. I am an artist, I am not a scientist. I am an artist by profession, so I can paint and draw. okay? And then I am an art educator, which means that I teach people using art. So I teach educational psychology, and I teach art therapy and research. And then these are some of my research areas. So I come into STEM as the A. If you read wide, we talk about STEAM. So I'm the artist within the STEM. You understand? That's where I am. Okay. Good grooming. This is, can you recognize this lady? Okay, she was here not too long ago. So when we talk about good grooming, it has to do with the way you want to present yourself. Your outlook comes to mind. Appearance, how you look. Those of you who like definitions, it says that good grooming is the act of exercising skill and caution in taking care of one's outlook in order to make a good impression. So the word here is impression. Okay. So the essence of good grooming, I'm just mentioning two. The first is to create first good impression to make a positive impact in our social engagement. It is quite unsettling when you ever meet somebody and then the facial expression tells you how you are presented does not appeal to him or her. I don't know whether anybody has had an experience like that before among yourselves. That is what comes to mind, right? First good impression. So when we talk about good grooming, one essential thing is that it's supposed to give a good impression to somebody and to enhance our social engagement. Don't forget, the first thing somebody sees is how you are packaged. We talk about packaging. When you go to the shell shops or you go to the mall, you are usually attracted by the package of things, even though you don't know the content. Tell me I'm lying. Is it true or false? What attracted you to the package? At times is the shape, right? At times is the color. The same goes for good grooming. The way you are packaged usually gives an impression about how you are supposed to behave. Interestingly, we tell us that man is not the clothes, or the clothes is not man. What do I mean? Hold it right there, I'll come back. So first impressions are usually based on the way you look, how you dress, and the way you talk. The way you talk. I'll come back to that. Another essence of good grooming is that it increases your self-esteem, boosts your confidence, and then consequently enhance your mental health. The minister talked about mental health earlier. You know, there are times that we say it in our local parlance, "Menyarin so mentiapo." Matibida. Menyarin so mentiapo. It's usually how you look. Most of us ladies, when we have a bad hair day, nothing you put on seems to come out nice. Tell me I'm lying. If you have a bad hair day. And so usually if you have your output together, you walk tall. Your posture is good because you feel good about yourself. Regardless of size, regardless of height, you still feel good about yourself. And then that enhances your self-esteem. That boosts your self-confidence, and that consequently enhances your mental health. Don't forget, when we talk about the WHO definition of health, it is not just the absence of disease or infirmity. It has to do with your whole well-being, your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your psychological well-being. So if somebody tells you, I am not sick, but I'm not feeling well, know that it's not just physical. Emotional and mental health are important, and that is linked a lot to good grooming. Has there ever been a time you met somebody? There are not many men here. Probably the men could have answered me better. Has there been a time, or even amongst us ladies, you met somebody very nicely dressed, very attractive, but the moment the person opened his or her mouth, you realize that all the respect, all the admiration just vanishes into thin air? Have you ever noticed something like that before? Yes, madam. The yeses are many. Who can share an experience? Who can share an experience? Hello. I want an experience, since there are a lot of yeses to confirm that your attitude can affect the way you look. So regardless of the way you are dressed, when you open your mouth to talk and it's not seasoned with salt, like the Christians will say, it does not augur well for you in terms of good grooming. So it's not just appearance, it is how you talk. At times, the attitude might not be as a result of somebody just having a bad day. It probably could be a cause from probably you not being able to do your chores, not being able to go through your math or physics or chemistry assignments or homework. You are frustrated. And so the next thing, you spew it out on the next possible person who is available. Attitude. When you are properly groomed, you don't let your excesses influence the next person. We all carry our baggages, but you don't let your baggage spew onto the next person because you are in a bad mood or you are having a bad day. We call something emotional hygiene. You see, when we talk about good grooming, the first thing that comes to mind, the lady mentioned hygiene. So you brush your teeth, you take a bath, you wash your hair, cut your fingernails, you press your clothes. It's a daily thing you do, right? Like brushing your teeth and washing your face and bathing. Emotional hygiene could be something you practice on a daily basis as well. What it simply means is that be mindful of the stresses that come your way. You know, we all know, or most of us know, the things that stress us. Some of us, especially as young students, when we pile our notes from the beginning of the term, we pile them up. We don't go through, and exams is around the corner. And you try to put everything in your head. Is that possible? So you call for stress. Is that not so? So that is a very big stressor. So if you know that you are not good with dealing with lots of stressful situations like that, you pace yourself. After every lecture or after every session, you go through what you're supposed to go through. And then you make your small notes. When it's exam time, you just go over those notes, and then it helps you in memory. When we are dealing with memory, the way you package or store information influences the way you retrieve that information. So just like when you wash a lot of clothes, you have tops, you have bottoms, you have socks, you have scarves, and then you pile them together. and you're looking for socks, how do you look for it? How do you look for it? Do you get the visual picture? You have to rummage through the things, is that not so? You find one pair here and you have to turn everything back before you pull another pair. It's the same way. If you are trying to make memory, especially for what you learn, you need to store them properly. So that when you need to retrieve it, it's the same way you retrieve it. So the mind is kind of made up like a storage. So you have different shelves for putting things right. This is for physics, this is for maths, this is for science, this is for whatever. You put this one there, when you need to retrieve it, you won't find it. You have to look through it. It's the same way. Emotional hygiene. When you have to consciously look out for the things that stress you, you'll be able to deal with them. Those of you who are religious, that could include having a daily devotion. Constantly. It's part of practicing emotional hygiene. I come to culture. What is culture? I'm sure all of you have heard about culture before. What is culture? Simplest definition. The way of life of a group of people. Do you think the way of life of a group of people can influence the way they groom? How? Forgive me, I'm a teacher, so I like asking a lot of questions. How can culture influence? Should I point? Oh, I have a hand up there. Okay. Can you hear her?
Oh.
And a person from town B visits town A to live there for a while. If the person is exposed to the culture of town A, how they dress, the person begins to learn how town B relates with everything. So their eating lifestyle, their dressing, their language, and how they act. So culture does really affect the good grooming of people.
Let's give her a round of applause. I couldn't have explained it much better. Exactly. So I see some of you wearing hijab. That's your culture. It's also religious. And that gives you your identity. And so that affects the way you groom. And so usually, culture affects the way one sees him or herself. I don't think you can see this too well. But because of culture or the way of life of a group of people, our body images have been affected. Why do I say so? You know, we have different cultures as Ghanaians because we have different groupings of us. And amongst you young people, you know you have your culture. Can somebody tell me one culture of a young person? Why is somebody smiling nicely at me? Do you want to answer my question? Can somebody tell me a culture among the young people? Okay, please go ahead.
Please, one culture is most young people are addicted to phones.
You see, that's a culture. That's their way of life. Do you get it? It's not a big thing out there. Culture has to do with the way of life. So being on phone is one of your cultural practices. Do you realize so? It's not just dancing adua or kete. That is your way of life. What else? Hello? What other cultures do we have?
Please, the usual wearing of makeup to enhance the beauty of the body.
You see, oh. You are fearfully and wonderfully made just the way you are. At your age, you might not necessarily need it. Meboa. A high din. Almost a mammy or hygiene. Okay. Because of your culture, she mentioned phone. You go to Instagram, you go to Twitter, you go to where again? Where again? Where? TikTok, the new kid on the block. Okay, you go to all these places and it influences the way you see yourself. There was a research done. I don't know whether you can see it too well, but the sad thing was that as young as 9, 10 years of age, girls are afraid of being fat. Does it resonate with any of you? Does it resonate with any of you? Yes. Okay. So by whose standards are we talking about fatness? Have you thought about that? By whose standards? We are Africans. A majority of us are thick. We are round. Look at me, I'm round. A majority of us are this way. But that does not take away anything from us, does it? So the more you are engaged in your subcultures, let me read something here. It says, girls are 3 times more likely than boys to have a negative body image. Those are statistics about body image. Young girls are more afraid of becoming fat than they are of nuclear war, cancer, or losing their parents. That is how bad it is. In grades 7 to 12, it's more like GHS getting to SHS. 30% of girls and 25% of boys reported being teased by their peers about their weight. More than 90% of 15 to 17-year-old girls want to change at least one thing about their physical appearance. It's sad. It is very sad. Girls as young as 5 years, originally. Preschool sekeji meboa. They are worried about their weights. Can you believe that? It's what they see. Their big sisters are turning in the mirrors, checking their back size. A lot of research has found that there is a correlation between time spent on social media and negative body image. So the more time you go on Instagram trying to look up famous actresses or actors and looking them up and comparing them to you, you just get depressed for nothing. You just get depressed for nothing. Why do I say so? Don't forget, I got to know time back that why people have so much craze for iPhone is the quality of pictures it takes. So people want iPhones, they will kill to get iPhones. They have filters, they have Photoshop. Don't forget, what pictures you see over there, they seem to be the best versions or the perfect versions of the people you see. They clean the photos up. They Photoshop them. They add filters. They have smooth face. They have flat tummy, not like bulging mine. And so the more you go there, the more you look up those things. I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but moderation is the key. Temperance. Modesty in everything. Some of you learn a lot from there, but it looks like the learning is very skewed in a negative way. Most of the things you learn there are not so much of a good influence to you. And so studies have shown that the more time you spend there, the more time you engage in being sorry for yourself. And so FLEPS 2021 says that social media can hurt your body image by constantly exposing yourself to the ideal body type, leading to constant comparison of yourself to unrealistic standards. In other words, the images we see on social media are the perfect versions of the people we see. I don't see any picture of a celebrity that comes with a pimple on a cheek or an oily face. Do you see those things? Don't they sweat? Don't they get acne? So when you're tempted to go there and feel sorry for yourself, remember you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And whichever size you come, you can package yourself nicely. So, that brings me to culture once again. We talk about cultural intelligence in relation to good grooming. You've heard of IQ before. Has anybody heard of IQ before? What is IQ? Intelligence quotient. Very good. Has anybody heard of EQ before? What is it? Emotional. So we have intelligence quotient, we have emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, and then we have what we call cultural intelligence. And so at first it used to be that when you have a high IQ, that's when the Cambridge and the Harvard group for you. And then it went to EQ. You have to have a high EQ to be able to make it in a job market, to be able to relate well with others. EQ, emotional intelligence, emotional quotient. When EQ is high, you can relate well with everybody, regardless of where the person is coming from. Because you are self-aware, you are aware of the other person, you are aware of the interrelationship between yourself. And then we have cultural intelligence, which is an add-on of emotional intelligence because it's a social and emotional intelligence put together. Why do we need that? To start with, it says a key aptitude required for thriving in our contemporary and globalized world is the CQ. We are training you, we are equipping you with set skills. And one of the set skills you would need to thrive in this ever-changing world is cultural intelligence. In the next couple of years,
We don't know where most of you will be. Some of you will be abroad, some of you will be here, working with big companies, teaching like me, doing lots of things. You meet people with diverse cultures. And don't forget, when I'm talking about culture, I'm not talking about probably, it can come in, but even amongst you here, you have different cultures, do you realize it? So if all of you or some of you are put together on projects in the office, you are all hoping to get jobs, right? Are you all hoping to get jobs? Yes. Or create jobs for yourself? Yes. When you create jobs for yourself or you get into jobs, you meet people, you work with others. You should be able to correlate with them. You should be able to relate well with them. And that is part of good grooming. I talked about how you talk. How you talk is linked with cultural intelligence. You won't just open your mouth ajar when you don't understand somebody. If the person dresses differently from you, if the person eats differently from you, if the person behaves differently from you, you would not make any comments that you haven't thought about carefully because you are culturally intelligent. And so this is an aspect that you need besides your subjects in school.
The minister talked about soft skills. This is one of the soft skills you would need to thrive. And so those of you who like definitions, CQ or cultural intelligence would be the ability to relate to culturally diverse situations as well as work effectively within them. And so wherever you find yourself, even if you can't speak the language of the place, you should be able to fit as a hand and a pair of gloves. Individuals with high levels of CQ are better able to accomplish goals in a respectful and effective way, no matter the cultural context. And so no matter where you find yourself, like a Girl Scout or like an Adventist youth, you should be able to thrive. Cultural intelligence has 3 components that are related to how you groom. We talk about cultural awareness or cultural knowledge. And it simply means knowing about other people's cultures, simply put. Knowing about other people's cultures. Then we have cross-cultural skills. In order to thrive in a different cultural milieu, you should be able to have skills like empathy. You should be able to feel for somebody. You should be able to be in somebody else's shoes in a particular situation. You should be able to adapt to different situations you find yourself in. And then we have cultural mindfulness. When we talk about being mindful, it's like being aware. So cultural mindfulness just means being aware of different cultural contexts and then how you act appropriately. I hope these are not big terms because they are things you do almost on a daily basis, just that we've not labeled them as such. Your ability to thrive in the boarding houses, it takes some of these skills. You might be an only child. You have a whole bedroom to yourself. Now you are in the boarding house. You have to share dormitories, right? You have to share bathrooms. You have to share the washrooms. It might not be exactly like you want. You have to manage. You have to be able to manage and adapt. And so how do we build or gain some of these skills I'm talking about? When you talk about cultural knowledge, one basic way of gaining it is through reading. And I was amused when the Honorable Minister talked about our unwillingness to read. It's often said that you want to hide something from the black man, you put it in a book, because they won't read. Those of you who are Christians over here, we've been told to study to show ourselves approved. Some philosophers back then talked about drinking deep or tasting not, the parents say. A little learning is dangerous. I say wunnim. And no pa chance wunnim gra. Omo munim na fa no. Oh. I ni say wunnim. Na so wrong upon kwan or dem. So immerse yourself in studies. You see, this is the best time to learn anything and everything. This is the best time of your lives to learn anything and everything. Why do I say so? Who pays your school fees? There are a few cases where some of you work to pay for your school fees, but I can count those instances. The majority of you are taken care of, true or false? So your whole business is just to learn. Student, full-time. This is when to do all the learning. You need to study to show yourself approved. A workman rightly dividing. In terms of cross-cultural skills, when you are being empathetic with others, when you learn to see things differently from others' point of view, when you are empathetic with others, when you're able to relate with others, that is when you gain cross-cultural skills. And this happens a lot amongst yourself. I just mentioned earlier that it's not, we don't have labels for them, but you've been doing that. So just increase that ability so that you'll be able to fit well into the job market, because it's the same people you are in the dormitories and classrooms with that you'll be going to work with. So this is more like an experiential place for you to try all the skill sets, so that by the time you are all grown up, you'd have experience in there. The third aspect is improving cultural mindfulness, and that is in relating to others. Okay, when you are able to consciously learn about things that makes others happy, you practice cultural mindfulness, and that is part of good grooming. I mentioned it's not just about appearance. It's not just about the packaging. When we open the package and what is inside the package is gone bad, it just diffuses the fact that the packaging was good. Is that not so? If you buy something and it's all nicely wrapped up, but the contents are expired, what do you do? What do? You throw it out. So your good grooming should encompass how you look, how you dress appropriately to suit your body type or body figure. I am not slim, and then I come wearing something like this. Who can draw me? Obi ata there to say, chinchinia me pebi. Man, know thyself. You should be self-aware. And that enhances good grooming. My long and short talk this morning is that good grooming goes beyond how you look. Okay, it goes beyond having nicely painted faces or neatly pressed clothes, even though that is also very important, to include how you talk. Your speech should be seasoned with salt. Your speech should be able to turn anger away. If there is a commotion and you come there, your speech should be able to dispel the anger. Number 2, and that would include being culturally intelligent. The next point, good grooming can enhance your self-esteem. When you come looking all nicely packaged, you feel proud of yourself. It doesn't have to be the most expensive garments. It could be the simplest and neatly tailored to suit your body type. Don't forget that part. And that can enhance your self-confidence because you know that you are neatly dressed. You can't be bullied. That in turn influences your mental health. Don't forget, being healthy is not just the absence of disease or infirmity. It includes being well holistically, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. And when your self-esteem is up, it's like a ripple effect. All those things happen. My dear friends, Christian Dior is, I don't know, a lot of you know about designers and all that. He ever said, grooming is the secret of real elegance. The best clothes, the most wonderful jewels, the most glamorous beauty, they don't count without good grooming. Thank you so much for your audience.
Thank you so much, Dr. Osei, for this elaborate and practical discussion on how we need to groom ourselves as young ladies. I hope you've taken yours, and I have taken mine as well. I could see that some were tired and dozing off and perhaps hungry. Don't worry, after this discussion, we are going straight to have our lunch. So just hold on, keep your tummies open for your lunch after this discussion. So moving on to the next talk, that's also an aspect of our personal grooming. We want you to come out whole. So Dr. Osei has handled the aspect on how we appear, and Dr. Abigail DG, Dr. Mrs. Abigail DG is also going to handle the next aspect, which is on personal hygiene and the sexually transmitted infections. So Dr. Abigail DG is a lecturer also in KNUST here in the Department of Nursing. She's an alumni of Achimota School, and she's going to give us the talk on personal hygiene and the sexually transmitted diseases. Talking about their alma mater, I would also want to let you know that I'm a Slopsan. So Slopsa. Okay. Let's give her a round of applause, please, to ginger her to tell us more.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all of us. Oh, your tone of voice is really low. I know you are hungry, but very soon we'll be here. We'll go for lunch. And many thanks to Dr. Mavis Osei for that brilliant presentation. I also like to acknowledge the president of Wistem here in the person of Professor Ibok Odro. So shall we clap for her? All right, because of time, we are going to have a very short but very interactive presentation. And as we have listened on personal grooming, the next section is going to focus mainly on menstrual hygiene and STIs. I know that we know about this so much. And so I want to know, what do we know? And I know that usually when we are having such conversations, the men think that they are not parts. But I would like them to know that they are all products of menstruation. So they should brace themselves and actively participate in the discussion. Please, as I promised, it's a very interactive and very short one. So menstruation, what do we know about it? Or should I call the schools? Okay, I see some hands up. Can you please tell us what you... Please hold on. A microphone is coming to where you are.
Okay, so menstruation is the monthly flow of blood, and menstruation, it begins at the age of, it starts puberty from the age of 13 years onwards. And it is the sign that you are a woman. That proves you can get pregnant and become a mother.
Wow, let's give her a resounding clap offering. So it means we all know about this already. Can I see by hands how many of us have menstruated? I am one of them. Oh, why? Anyway, and for me, I felt that I never had any information about it. And I quite remember once I was talking to my mom when I was of age, and I told my mom that, oh, mommy, I have a boyfriend. They said, oh, that's very good. And said, oh, why is it very good? They said, oh, all the school fees that I'm paying, now that you have a boyfriend, it means that the person will come and pay all. So because of that, I never introduced my mom to my boyfriend. And sadly enough, my mom never talked to me about menstruation. All of the information that I got to know were by friends and by me exploring the world. But I thank God that now things are changing. And I'm very happy that we have this forum to even have discussions about topics that we think they are taboo topics or something of that sort. And I'm very happy about the contributions that have been made. I want to find out from you, how was the first experience? How did you know? Were you told about it? Oh, some people are smiling and looking at me. Okay, hey, those at the back. Please, when you mention your name, then you tell us the school that you are also from.
Please, I'm Mambora Sampa from Yasantua Girls Senior High School. The first time, it was normal, even though I was uncomfortable, because I had learned from school, I heard from my friends, and my mom also told me something about it, so I felt normal.
Okay, thank you very much. What does normal means?
Like, I was aware.
Okay, but does it mean you didn't feel any pain or abdominal?
Oh yes, I felt pain.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. One more person to share and then we'll proceed. Okay, I think those at the back, you have been contributing, so let's allow those in front to also share. But we'll come to you.
Okay. My name is Sandra Buka from St. Monica Senior High. Okay, I learned from school that the first flow of blood is called menarche, and that one, the students are not usually aware of it. So when it happened, I wasn't aware. Someone told me, and then my school, they had to change and all this sort of things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I like how she pronounces. She says menarche. I would have said menarche, but she says menage. So that's another pronunciation. All right. So proceed to it.
So
okay.
please, can I continue?
Please go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Lydia Sapon. I'm a Yashin from Yasantua Girls. Okay, so my first experience was like, it was painless. So there was no pain during the first week. It came slowly. But on Saturday when I woke up, I noticed that it was there. I approached my mom and then she took care of me. But I had first known I heard it was menstruation because I had read a book in class from my formal school. Yes.
All right, thank you very much from Yasantua. Like I promised you, we'll be very fast. We won't spend so much time. So menstruation is simply a normal vaginal bleeding that occurs as part of a woman's cycle. And remember that each one has his or her own her cycle. The men don't have this cycle. Sorry. So the length of a normal menstrual cycle is averagely 28 days, but it can range from 21 to even flow. Then it means that you have a 28-day cycle. So you have to know yourself, keep counting, and bear in mind that sometimes there can be fluctuations in this because there are other factors that can alter the flow. Sometimes when you are stressed, it may even come before or it may delay. So let's take note of this. We know that menstruation affects girls and women in various ways. And so on the board we have some pointers. Can you identify with some of them? We are saying that it can affect our health, dignity, participation in activities, education, and also financially. Is that true for all of us? Or we can identify with some and not others? You can identify with all. All right, so we all know that women are affected in all of these ways, and that's the reason why we need to be supportive of women. I think I've asked this question. You realize that before you menstruate, you sort of feel some signs or symptoms. I'm looking for someone who has experienced it, and then the person will tell us some of the signs or symptoms that they experience before they menstruate. You want to share? Hey, some people are not looking at me. Okay, those in the middle.
Okay. Sometimes your
breast. Oh, your name and your school, so that we know you are here.
Okay, I'm Sufal from KNUST-TEK. Okay. So sometimes your boobs become swollen.
Good.
And you get cramps, headache, acne. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's clap for her. But she mentioned something interesting. She said your boobs. Now I've learned that we have to call a thing a thing. So if it's the breast, mention it, and then we know that that's what you are referring to. Otherwise, some people may not get that. Anyone wants to share about some of the signs or symptoms that we feel when we are menstruating? All right. So remember that it may vary, but it generally ranges from having sometimes headache, abdominal pains, pimple or acne, as we may refer to it. We may also have some back pain, swollen breast, as someone said, and also sometimes we may even have nausea. Some people may even vomit. Others may even increase and have an increased appetite to even eat more. I think there was a point that also needs to be made, that sometimes if you have an undiagnosed STI, it may also aggravate some of the premenstrual symptoms that you may have. And there are a variety of items that we use. Some are disposable, others are reusable. And as you can see in the diagram, you can see some cloth, some pad, some tampons, and also menstrual cups. Which of them do you really identify with? Pads. You've not used the menstrual cup before. What about tampons? Okay. So I want you to know that they are all materials we can use. Then I also want us to go through some menstrual hygiene tips that we need to be aware of. The first one is that we should change our pad frequently. So the question is, at what time interval? If we say change your pad frequently, is it at 2 hours or 4 or 6 or 12? Which one? 6. Let's clap for ourselves. Oh, you are not clapping for yourself. Good. So averagely, we are looking at 4 to 6 hours, and this depends on your flow. I know that some people, if they feel that their flow is not coming that many, they will say that, oh, then I'm using the pad 12 hours, or some, it may even go beyond 12 hours. The reason why that is dangerous is that, remember, what is coming out of your body is not wanted. So the more it stays there, infections can build up and you can get infected. And the reason why these infections are also important, because if care is not taken, it can even affect your pelvic region and you have challenges. And sometimes some people can even be subfertile or infertile as a result of that. So don't think about the cost of the pad or the sanitary equipment that you are using, but care also about what the potential complications of your actions would be. Then also, we have to use cotton sanitary pads. Some of them are made of rubber. So you have to check the type of pad that you are using to make sure that it is made of cotton. And remember that if you are using reusable items like the menstrual cup, it's advised that you actually boil it before you use it. So you have to sort of boil it and allow it to cool, not that when it is hot, and when it's cool, then you can use it. If you are using a cloth also, remember that after you have finished washing, it's also advisable that you put it in boiling water and then allow it to dry, preferably in sun, and then when that is done, you also iron it before you actually use it. Then, most importantly, we have to keep our vagina clean. Please, this one, repeat after me. Keep your vagina clean. It is our property, okay? And it's a very important property, so we have to keep it clean. And when we are cleaning, we have to clean from front to back and not from back to front. If you clean from back to front, you are likely to move microbes around your buttocks area towards your vagina. So it's better to clean from your vagina towards the anal or rectal area. Some people are laughing. Then also, you have to discard sanitary pads properly. And by that, what I normally do is that whenever I have a pad, I put A4 paper around it, already wrapped. And the reason why I do that is because the moment I'm going to change, I know that at least I have a paper to put it in before I can also resort to the rubber that sometimes is around the pads. So please, you can also choose whatever method works for you, but make sure that you have something to discard it off properly. And also wear comfortable underwear. And if you are using the reusable methods, make sure that you wash them properly. And in situations where you are having untoward effects of menstruation, or if you notice certain things under your V or your vaginal area, please consult your doctor. I hope that is clear. Any questions? Or you want to wait? So, okay, there's a question. Please go ahead and ask.
Please, you have been educated on cervical cancer, that when we expose our private area to too much heat, it might cause cervical cancer. Auntie, please, when you are in our menstrual period, we are advised to use dark-colored panties and wear the dark-colored undies too. Auntie, please, mostly the black-colored undies promote more heat. Won't that be affecting us negatively? Plus, the pad too is covering it completely. So, can that cause cancer?
All right. Thank you very much. And I'm very happy for asking the question. Let's clap for her. All right. It's a very good question that you have asked. But bear in mind that during the process when you are menstruating, you need to have something. Otherwise, the blood will seep through. That's why we are advising that even if it's a black or multicolored panty, make sure that it is cotton. We have different types of panties. Some are silk and other material, nylon and the rest. So make sure that you are using a cotton panty. And we are also saying that make sure you are using a cotton sanitary pad. Or if it's a material, something that will not really promote so much heat in your area. And we are also admonishing you to change frequently. And when in between the changes, please make sure that you clean the area also as well. I hope you are okay. Another question? Okay.
My name is Josephine from Adventist Girls Senior High School. So my question is it advisable to take in drugs when having cramps?
All right, thank you very much for the questions. I think that sometimes you don't even have to wait for the cramps to happen before. If you are anticipating that you are getting into your period and then you have pain, you can even take some of the medications before the time. So it's fine to take drugs.
Madam, please, can your diet also affect your menstrual cycle? Because I was told that if you eat too much sweets, too much sugar, and other kind of foods, it will affect your menstrual cycle. Is that true?
All right. Thank you very much for that brilliant question also. I think all these are things that we hear, but I haven't come across any study that has shown that eating of sweets will sort of increase the flow or something of that sort. But I think that we just have to be cautious because too much of everything is bad. And there may be other effects of the sweets on your system rather than maybe altering your flow. So that's what I can say for now. Any more questions? Yes, those at the back. Then we'll come to the middle and the front.
Auntie, please, is it okay to have a 14 days flow of menses?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I think I wouldn't say yes or no. Like I said, know your cycle. So if you know that you normally have a 7-day flow and all of a sudden you are having 14-day flow, then that is a cause for alarm. And with that one, you have to see your doctor because it may even be a fibroid that is bleeding or something. So you need to consult your doctor. That is if it's out of the normal. I hope you are okay.
Auntie, please.
Please allow her. Allow her.
Auntie, please. According to a research I had read on the internet, it said that dark chocolate was good for curing menstrual cramps. And you were saying we should watch our diet. So should we avoid all kinds of sweet during this period? Or we can go for what the internet says about period cramps?
Thank you very much. And I'm happy that you are reading about things. I remember 2 days ago, my son came with a French homework. And I couldn't answer the homework for him. Then he said, Mommy, go on the internet. I'm like, hey, these kids. You now know where I have to go to get the information. So I think it's very good that we are reading, and I will encourage all of us to read about it. All the same, it's not everything that we read that may be wholesome. If we think the source is credible, why not? We can stick to that. I hope that is okay. Any more questions? Okay.
Please, I read from somewhere that your period can last for 3 days, and you just told us from 4 to 7 days. So is the 3 days normal or abnormal?
Thank you very much for the question. I know that you are all paying, rapt attention to what is being discussed. Like I said, there can be variations beyond the average. Some people can have a little lesser than the 4. Some people can also go a little beyond the 7. This is just average. It doesn't mean if yours is, below or beyond this is abnormal. The key word is consistency. If, let's say, you normally have a 3-day or 4-day, and all of a sudden you are having 8 or 14-day, then that can be a cause for alarm. I hope we are okay with that. Any more questions? Hey.
Please, you were talking about the medication I'm menstruating, but I once heard that when we take drugs just to control our pains, it may call for fibroid. I want to know if it is true.
Wow, thank you very much for the question. I don't know what to say about this because I am an advocate for pain, and taking drugs is not a cause for fibroid. So let's take note of that. I think sometimes it's about abusing. That's why we recommend that you get to a healthcare provider and then they prescribe the medications for you to take. I hope we are okay with that. Hey.
Madam, I heard that from other people that they use pad, three pad at the same time, and also changes their self 3 times a day. Is it normal?
For those who didn't hear her question, she said that she's heard that some people use 3 parts put together at a time, and they also change themselves 3 times, right? I think that, like I said, you have to know your cycle. If that is the person's normal cycle, then that is the person's cycle. But otherwise, it's a little... And I also don't know the nature of the pad the person is probably using, so it may be difficult to say this or that. But like I said, if you are in doubt, always visit your doctor. Yes.
Madam, I'm also Boedu Gifty from Effigiasi Senior High Technical School, and I'm confused of this. I was being told that during raining season, menstrual cycles always change, and it comes earlier than the Harmattan season. Is it true?
Wow, let's clap for her for the question. I'm learning so many things from here. Like I have told you that certain factors can let the menses come before, or it can let them delay. Now that you have drawn my mind to it, I think I'm personally going to do a research to see the effects of these seasons on menstruation. Thank you very much for that observation.
Madam, please, is it normal to have green bulging veins on your chest when you are menstruating?
Green
bulging veins on your chest.
Oh, okay. You are saying, is it normal to have green bulging veins on your chest
when you are menstruating?
Oh, okay. I want to say that everybody is different. That may not be a general sign for everybody. But if that's a sign for you, I will then again admonish that we also report and then do some investigations to see if everything is normal or is as a result of the menstruation.
Okay, Madam, my name is Elizabeth Awuni from Effigiasi Senior High Technical School. Madam, we have been told in our school by our teachers that the moment you get pregnant, you are free from menstruation. But I know a certain woman in our area, she's pregnant, but still menstruating. What's the cause of it, and is it possible for that to happen?
Yes, thank you very much. As we know, the moment you are pregnant, it means that ideally you are not supposed to menstruate. But we have what we call spotting in pregnancy, which isn't a normal condition. It's not something that you are supposed to experience, but some people experience spotting whilst they are pregnant, and that's why you also need to visit the doctor, because if that prolongs, you may even lose the pregnancy. So it's an abnormal sign in pregnancy. All right. Hey. Please, the microphone.
Madam, please, are painkillers a good drug to take when you're having your cramps?
All right, please go.
Are painkillers a good drug to take when you're having your cramps, or is there a specific drug for you to take?
Also happening. Remember that the egg has come there, it didn't fertilize, so it has to come down. So it's moving away from the uterus down towards your vagina. So it's not only pain, but we can even give you some muscle relaxants so that the cramps, the effect of it will be reduced. But then again, I don't want us to be self-prescribing or dispensing of medications. Let's always visit a doctor or go to the appropriate place to be medicated. I think the way the conversations are going, we have to have another session because the time is running. So please, write all your questions. We will make time in the course of the program to continue our presentation. But because of Prof's intervention, we'll allow for the last question and then we'll proceed.
Please, the last question.
Madam, please, I heard when some ladies are in their period, there is no flow of blood, but there are signs in their palms. So is it true and is that normal?
Yes, that's very true, and that's an abnormal condition. So if you're having that, please visit your doctor. On that note, I want to say that the conversations are not over. We'll send the presentations to your platforms, but we'll continue to engage in the course of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, doctors, Mrs. Osei and DG. We are much grateful for these insightful talks. Now we are whole, and I hope to see you one day fully groomed and appearing as you should. I hope I'm going to see that. Good. So we are going to go out for lunch, and the lunch is going to be on the next floor, the first floor, in the same building. So kindly, once we are done, you go on the stairs to the first floor for our lunch. Thank you. Yes, and there's one thing. I think we are not happy the way you are sitting. You need to mingle, mix with other students.